This
and
conference will now be recorded.
and what are the concept we cover in as a full stack development. Okay,
Okay.
so .NET framework.
I'm unable
So
to see
.NET,
the screen right now.
you can't see my
The screen,
screen.
yeah, the screen is blank.
Okay, let me reshare it again. Yeah, I have stopped sharing.
Okay.
Resharing again. The entire screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
now you able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll discuss about basic what is .NET and .NET framework and what are the topics we covered in the full stack development. Okay.
Okay.
So .NET framework is a collection of reusable libraries to develop like web applications, web API applications, Windows applications, and mobile applications. Okay, .NET was introduced in 2002, and at like there are many generations in .NET framework. So they started with the BB.NET and VB.NET, then web forms, and then .NET MVC. Now latest is .NET Core. Okay. In same
Okay.
way, they have like Blazor, and Umbraco, Braco, and something like there are something like .NET extenders also they're available. Okay.
Okay.
So as a full stack developer, so we have to cover .NET Core, .NET Core, Web App, and Web API, and then front-end technologies, front-end technologies like HTML5, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, and Angular. Angular 15 or plus or 18, something like that. Angular. Okay. And
Okay.
then backend developer, backend development means a database thing like we can use any database. We can use MongoDB. We can go with SQL. We can go with Oracle. But .NET mostly in .NET development will go with the SQL. Okay,
Okay.
yes, SQL Server and SQL database. SQL database. Okay, basic understanding of DDL commands, DLL commands, and joins. These things actually will go through. Okay, views, triggers, stored procedure functions. Okay, basic understanding of this. And then how actually .NET framework, how actually .NET framework will integrate the front end, and business business logic and database. Okay, these topics actually will go through. Okay, and if you want to write this business logic, we have to do it in a programming language. So the most feasible programming language for .NET is C sharp.
Okay.
Okay, are you familiar with any programming language? Are you new to programming language?
Um, I'm like a little bit familiar.
Okay, with which language?
Um,
C or C++, Java or something.
yeah, C, C++.
Okay, okay. So C sharp is an extension for a C family advanced than C++. So it is a C sharp is object oriented language. Okay, we will cover basic concepts, basic to advanced concepts in a C sharp language. Okay, .NET framework support many languages. We can write C, we can use a C sharp, F sharp, and Python also. But the most comfortable language is C sharp. Okay, why? Because it is extended of a C family and it is advanced than a C++. Okay,
Okay.
so for coming to the backend perspective, as a business logic layer, we will cover C sharp language, and along after the C sharp language, uh, we have to cover like .NET Core basics and then entity framework core, entity framework core, and then dependency injection DA. Okay, all these things will cover in a .NET Core framework. Okay, now let us see a simple demo. We'll try to create one .NET web applications and we'll do a simple CRUD operations. CRUD operations means, okay, we'll
Mm-hmm.
see CRUD. Okay, CRUD operations. CRUD operations means create, read, update, and delete. Okay, these things will do. Okay, now there are a lot of approaches. Okay, we can going forward. I'll explain, but there are a lot of approaches. We'll call it a DB first approach, database first approach, code first approach, or POCO, something like that. Okay, right now we'll go with the database first approach. Okay, so
Okay.
this is SSMS. Okay, this is called Microsoft Server Studio. All SQL
Okay.
queries creation deletion will do in SSMS only. Okay, here we'll try to create one new database. Okay, so right click in it. We can do it two ways. We can write a simple query to create a database. Otherwise we can using a GUI we can create a new database also. If you go with a new DC, in the options we can create a new database. Otherwise we can write a simple query to create a database. For example, create database and database name. For example, it is a test one, test DB. So I want to create it. So I have created one database. Okay, it's saying the command complete successfully executed. So if we refresh this database now, we can see our newly created database. This is our test database. Okay, here we just created a database, but we doesn't have any tables inside the database. Okay, see tables. We don't have any tables. Now, shall we create one table? Create table and table name. For example, users, and we have to create a columns. For example, ID, int, primary key, identity, full name, varchar. We can declare like the size of this varchar, for example, 30, and email varchar size of again 30, mobile number varchar size of 12, and what else? And gender size of 10, and we can log created by. Okay, we have audit log, for example, created by and created on and updated, updated by on is actually a bit. So, do you understand what is this in the primary key identity? So, all these are constants. Okay, primary key, where, not null, these things. For example, we can specify which column should be null and which column should be not null. So, in our case, we can declare all these fields are not null. Okay, except this audits. See, if you declare it is a null type, no, then if you not specify anything, then it will allow null. Otherwise, this column is not allow null. Okay, all this where you have declared a not null, no, then this columns not allows nulls. Okay, it should expect some value. Okay, along with that row it should expect some values. So all these fields are called the primary key identity or not null, and we these fields are called as a constants. We have six constants. Okay, going forward in SQL, while learning SQL we'll go through all these concepts. Okay, now I'll create a table. If I simply execute this query, if I execute this query, yeah, before that I have to select my database name, and then if I execute it, see the table got created. If I refresh the tables, I can see the created table. So the new table is created. If we open and if we see select open, the no values got inserted. Now we will create values from our .NET applications. Okay. So now we have to create a new project. So this is our .NET application. Actually, I already opened. If you observe this icon, this is a .NET application, Visual Studio 2022.
Mhm.
So we can create a new project. We can create a multiple kind of a project. This is a .NET Core project. It's a console application. This is a Blazor. Blazor is nothing but like, for example, we are using this Angular React, right? You- Instead of that, Blazor is a component based, actually single paged application. We can create a Blazor. Okay. So in Blazor, we can simply use a C sharp language. In Angular, we have to use a TypeScript and top of jQuery, these things, right? Instead of that, if you go for a Blazor, we can using a simple C sharp language, we can achieve the same scripting language what we are going to do. Okay. See, this is a .NET Core web application. This is Blazor. This is a web API project. This is some class libraries, and Umbraco also will be there. See, it's a .NET Core with Angular project, .NET Core with React project, and some unit testing projects. All this PFW, PFWCF that we used in system applications. Okay, these many kind of applications we can create in a .NET. Right now we are focusing on .NET Core web applications. Okay,
Okay.
so we are focusing on .NET Core web model view controller application, MVC application. Okay, MVC means model view controller, and going forward actually we can discuss about more into MVC. Okay, now
Okay.
for example our application name test app. Here we have to select the .NET 6.0, .NET 8.0 based on SDKs. So the latest one is 8.0.
Okay.
Yeah. So I explained you about generations in .NET, right? For example, .NET Core MVC. MVC until MVC in .NET, in .NET we have to host. Actually, it will allow us to host in only in Windows system. But when it's come to the .NET Core and the next generation like .NET Core 2.2 to now 8.0, all these .NET Core versions we can deploy our application in Windows or Linux or Macs also. Okay, there is no restrictions. It is a cross-platform and it is open source. But until .NET MVC, it is not a cross-platform. It is not a open source. But now Microsoft changed that. He is a broad mindology, so he's actually provided it is as a open source, and then we can host in any system. Okay, there is no restrictions. Okay, and until earlier days we have to host only in IIS. Okay, in Windows system, but in .NET Core we can host in any platform. That is a great advantage. And coming to .NET Core, it is lighter than Node. Okay, It is lighter than Node. Okay, I think now our application got created. So okay, it is created a basic structure with application. So this is the overview. Okay,
Okay.
see, this is how the folder structures looks like. Okay, here in the dependence, if any third-party libraries we are using, it will show here. Okay, in properties, the launch setting, the URL which we want, it will show here. If you want to use any JS files or CSS files, any icons, images, we have to put it in the root folder. Okay, okay, and then model view controller, and then you can see the program.cs file. This is the main file in .NET framework. Okay, the entry point of the application is program.cs file. If you browse this application, see, for example, we can run this application. By default, it should be have one screen, one layout page, one basic structure page. It will be load. Okay. See, this is the basic structure page. It got loaded. Okay. It is a home page and some privacy page. That's it. The project name, it's considering as a logo. We created our project name as test applet. So this is how it looks actually. So this is how we implement a .NET project. Okay. Now let us try to connect our database name testdb, our SQL database name testdb, and the tables we have users, how we are connecting, integrating our database to our .NET framework. That is how we see. Okay, that is so to do this we have a prerequisites. We have to install some SQL libraries into a .NET framework. See, I have tell you like .NET framework is a collection of reusable libraries. Okay, in if you right click here in the project name, if you go to a manage you get package, we can browse a multiple libraries. Here we have to identify which library we have to use. Here we need three libraries: entity framework core, see, all Microsoft libraries. See, entity framework core, we need this one. Okay, we need the latest version. Okay, I can install entity framework core. So entity framework core is a ORM model. It will help us to integrate with SQL, any database. Okay, SQL server, mostly we use this for SQL server. Okay, it is
Okay.
not allowing for version 8, so I have to change to version 6. So for SQL purpose only, we are going with the entity framework core. If you use a MongoDB, if you use any other Oracle DB, then the libraries will be changed. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now it got installed. And top of this, we need SQL Server also. The entity framework core.sql server. We need this one too. Okay, again have to switch the version. See, it is also installed. Installed. As of now, I think both the libraries are enough to integrate with SQL. See the if you expand the package now. See, earlierly we don't have these libraries, right?
Yeah.
Now we have these packages, .NET Core and SQL, and now we have one scaffold command. Okay, where is it command? Yeah, This is the scaffold command. It will connect our database and it will integrate all our database and our tables to our .NET application. See how it works. If I go to tools and NuGet manage controller, if I go to package manage console, okay. For you, it is little hard to understand everything, but uh, don't get any doubts. Will in later you will got to know what is the scaffold commands and why we are using. There are multiple approaches. Okay, we have to provide our server name, our database name, and you
I understand we are trying to connect this .NET project to our SQL server. So this we are using this scaffold.
yeah, scaffold command. Yes, exactly. Yeah, good. Actually, I appreciate. So we need this name. This is my SQL server name. Okay,
Okay.
SQL server name. Database name is relationship and output directory model. So what here I'm saying is, see here I'm providing the server name and the database name. I said tested connection true and the type, okay, which type it is, Microsoft Core SQL Server, and and it will generate a few CS files. Okay, our .NET only understands CS files, right? Okay, C sharp
Yes.
files. It won't understand anything. Okay, it won't understand a jQuery file or some other file. It will understand only CS file, and so using this command, it will generate CS files only, and we are placing it in output directory models. Here we are specifying that which folder we want to render those files. See, for example, if we expand the models, we don't have only one file, we have error model, error view model. Now, if you run this command, we'll see what will happen. Okay, we have to pass a user ID and password, but here I'm ignoring it, not sure it will render or not. DB scaffold is not recognized. Why? Okay, I think we need a tools library also. Again, I'm going to this one, entity framework, entity framework. There is one more library called tools. Design. Yeah, this one. Okay. I believe it is also installed. Okay, now we can try the same command. Now it got start builded. See, now it got generated. If we go to the solution explorer, if we expand the models again, see now we have testdb context and users. Two classes it got generated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, test db context means it is a db context file. Okay, what are the tables we have? See, it is rendered with our db name. If you observe, our db name
Yes.
is test db, right?
That's
So
maybe
it
not.
is rendered with a test name. Yeah, test db context will is nothing but it is a layer. It is a layer of our database. See, we have only one table. We have only one table. The table name is users, and the table is user. If you go inside this class, see, the users class is nothing but a this class. If you go inside that, we can see what are the fields we created. We created ID, right? Full
Yes.
name, email, mobile. What are the fields? See, so what are the columns we have created? It will generate those columns. Okay. Simply it is scaffolded and it is generated. We don't need to do anything. Okay, manually also we can do it. See, without creating any tables in database, we can create tables from our .NET framework also. That is we called that is we called code first approach. Now what we have done, we have done a DB first approach.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you assignments, like I'll give you reference links. Okay, so I'll tell you how many approaches are there. Okay, I'll guide you. Okay, to do a DB
Okay.
first approach, code first approach. Okay, for time being, I have generated this code first approach model. But any robust application in a real time development will go with this approach only.
DB first approach.
DB first approach. Why? Because we'll design our database based on our business requirement. Then we will integrate to our framework, and then we will start implementing the our business logics. Okay. Now
Okay.
we have we have users. Okay. Now the database got integrated. Now we are trying to do a CRUD operations. Okay. Now here I'm creating one controller called add, add controller called users. Users. Controller is created. Okay. Here, what is controller? What is controller means? Controller means, for example, I'll create one basic view. For example, I don't create any view. For example, I run this application. We have one more controller called home controller that is created by application itself. While we're creating a project, it is created a home controller, right?
Okay.
So it is not I'm not created this controller, but it is created by a framework. If you want to use it, we can use it. Otherwise, we can remove this controller. If we run this application, see it loaded. It see we can see welcome and learn about building web apps.NET Core. Actually, how it is generated? It is nothing but a home controller. Okay. If you go inside home and if you go inside this page, we can see this welcome code in this index page. Okay, it is just populating. We'll wait for a minute. See the index page, you can see index.cshtml. Cshtml nothing but a html page. We can design our html designs in cshtml page. See, you can see welcome and build web apps. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any view in .NET Framework, it will create under controllers only. For example, this is a by default by landing page it actually it has mapped as a landing page, but the root of this landing page is slash home slash index. See, the same page got loaded, right?
Yes.
For example, the root is nothing but after our DNS. This is we call a DNS domain. Okay. Okay, and after this is our application root. Okay, the first one is controller name and next one is action method name. If you observe here, see home controller. Okay, this name home controller. Okay, two parts. One is the controller name and the second one is controller. It has to be controller. We can't change it. Okay, if you change it, for example, home dash without controller, the application itself it is not recognized. It is a case sensitive one. Okay, by
Okay.
naming standards, we have to follow this rule. Okay, the first part you can specify any name, your name, my name, any name. Okay, it won't bother. But the second part should be a controller with a capital C. Otherwise, it won't recognize it. For example, I have created user controller. This is my name. Okay, anything we can put. But the second part is controller. We have to put it like this only.
Okay.
Okay. See, for example, this is a controller name home and the view name is index. See, that is how the root there, right? So we have created one controller called user. If I go with the user here, users, and I have called action method name index. If I enter index, okay, I'll try to run this. See what will happen. It is saying an exception. The index was not found. Why? Because we are not yet created any page. Okay, it's just a method. If I right click in, if I add view, okay, razor view and add, I'm simply scaffolding the models to get the to list here, list, and I'll give the model. Our model is user model, okay, and creating an ad. See here, I'm generating a pre-design, okay, pre-design to render our users table, list of users table, okay.
Okay.
Once it is generated, no, I'll show you how it got generated. It will take some time. Why? Because we are generating a pre-design, okay. See, the design got generated by itself only, okay, to display our model, okay. If I run this application now, we can see user slash index, then we are expecting a list view. By default, the application goes to a landing page. We don't have any menus right now, right? We have to go through, we have to type our URL, okay, slash users slash index. Now it won't give any exception. It will give only exception because the model is, we are not passing any model. How we can pass a model? Okay, simply I can pass. We have test db. See, this is nothing but our testdb class file. Okay, I'm creating an object for a testdb context, and
Okay.
using the testdb, I'm calling my table name. Okay, what is my table name? db dot users. Users is my table name, and then I want to call all list. Okay, dot to list. Okay, this is called a link query. Okay, this is called a link query, and I am passing this model to our view. Okay, our view will catch this model and render all the records. As of now, we don't have any records. It will render empty records. Okay.
Okay.
Once we started creating any records, no, then it will render that record. In users slash index. See, now it got created one view. It looks like a table, but we don't have any records. As of now, in DB, we don't have any records, right?
Yeah.
We have to create a new records. Okay, now we'll start creating a new records. For example, we will create one more view. Okay, public I action, and this is a create method. Return view. So let us understand the structure of this method. Okay, this is
Okay.
a action method type. Okay, the return type, it is expecting a view. For example, we will you will know, you're familiar with, already familiar with some C++, right? For example, we'll write this way: public void add. Okay, then we'll do Then we'll do int c equal to some a plus b. This is our basic program, right?
Yes.
So here what is our return type? Return type is void. Void means there is no return type here. If we put return type int means then we should pass integer value, right? The same way, this method is a action method, public action method, the return type. The I action method, it will expect a view. Okay. Now we have to create one view. Creating. See now if you try to go to view, it will say not matching because we have not created. Okay. At two we have to create a view. Now right click on it and we can go with the add view. Now which view? We don't need empty view. We need a view for create our users, right?
Yes.
We can simply the view name created and the template we have to decide it. The template earlier we created for list. Now we want to create a template for create, and it will expect a model. Which model we want? As of now we have only users table. For example, going forward we have department table, address table, something like that. Okay, based on the model we have to select that model. Okay, users. And by default it will figure out the db context. Okay, db context. Okay, and create add. Again it will create a view for create only. Earlier we go with this method, right? Create view. Now we'll go with the create. See how it. See, it is generated one view. Okay, the name called created with all fields. Now we will run this view and see what is happening.
Okay.
Again, it will take us to a landing page. Okay, we have to go with our root users index. So here we have a create button, right? If you go with the create button, then it will take us to create view. See, user full name, email, mobile number, gender, created by, created on, all these fields we have. For example, I will go with the Kiran, Kiran@t.com. Mobile number 123456. I don't want to fill these fields. Okay, it is like nullable fields only, and I'm checking the is active or not. Okay, and I'm pressing the create button. What will happen? It won't create anything. Why? Because this is a view to enter details, but we don't have a logic for save the database details, right?
Right.
For that, right? Now we have to create a logic for it. For that, we have to create a one more view calls with the same name only. We have to pass our model. Our model is user, and it is data. Okay,
Okay.
and we have to specify this is HTTP get method, and we have to specify this is HTTP post method. Then why we are declaring means first time it will load this create view, then it is a getting only. We are not posting any records, right?
Right.
So, and then after going inside this page, then we are posting some details, right? We have to save those details. Then we are posting those details to a post method. Okay, but the view is same only. Now, how we can save it? Again, we have to create our DB context here, and then see that data we are getting to this post controller. So, how we are saving? Again, we use the DB object name and then users, and then we have to use add method and we have to pass the data to the add. Then it will load instance. Okay, but we have to save into a database. We have to use db.save changes, then only it will save. Okay, then again after the saving, which view we want to load, we have to load the index view, then only we are able to see all the list of the users, right? Otherwise we won't see.
Right.
Create we have only the form. Create we have form, but create view doesn't have capability to show list of records, right?
Yes.
So then from this view, we have to redirect it to index. So how we can simply say redirect to action, and which action we have to pass the view name. The view name is index. So after saving details, we are just redirecting to index. Then it will load, and it will load that, it will get the all data, and it will show. We'll see the example here. Okay, we'll run this code and we'll see the example. See, now we have to pass, for example, chai@t.com, something, mail, and just passing. These are not mandatory fields, so that's the reason I'm not providing anything. And I'm just creating. See, it is got created and it
Yes.
is redirect to our index page. And if you go into the database and if you run the same logic here, same query, you can see the fields, right? How
Yes.
simple it is. Chai, email, mobile. Okay.
Okay.
And here it will render, edit, details, and delete. Now we will see how we can edit, how we can delete, and how we can go to the details these things. Okay,
Okay.
let us go with the detail page. Okay, now we'll create a simple view for detail. After this, we have to specify detail also get request only, right?
Yeah.
Here we are getting only, we are not putting anything for details. Okay, public I action and details. For details, we will pass only one parameter, that is ID. Okay, whose record we want to fetch it, right? For example, database we have 10 records, but we want to see only one record, right?
Yes.
So we'll see how we can do it. Copy db context db dot again our users. Okay, then no to list we have to write a query for where. See, this is a lambda expression. Okay, x equal to greater than is a lambda expression. Okay, x, now it will be x dot, if we put x dot means we will get all the properties names. Okay, username, first name, which field we want to use it, we want to go with id. Okay, id equal to id. Okay, then dot singular default, because we want only one record, right? So that's the
Yes.
reason we are going for singular default. We want to get a two list means then we'll go with a two list. Okay. Now we will get one record, but we have to save it in one variable where user details. Okay. And then we have to pass to this view return view to, and we are pass this model user details model. Okay. And now we have to create one view, add view, and again a razor view. It will populate the template options. So here we have to select details, then we have to select the model, and then we have to select the TB context. Then if you want to add it, it will render the view. It will generate the code. See, as of now, for our understanding, we are going this way. Okay, we are generating views, we are generating HTML code by our .NET framework, but real time we have to write this code.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have a time, right? So that is the reason we are going with by scaffolding the views.
Okay.
Okay, but real time we have to write our code.
Okay.
But simple things, we if the business requirement generate a scaffold pages, you can simply do like this. Okay, if
Okay.
your business requirement something else, we have to go with that way. Now let us create one more record. Okay, here, so new record created. Now I want to see the first record. Okay, ID is one. So here I'm just going to the details. So why it is not first in the record? So ID here, it is ID. It is getting ID 0. So that's the reason we are not getting any values. So what parameter it is expecting? If we go inside index. Yeah, there's something missing in the index page. We'll see. Now again, if you want to see child details, if I click edit, I'm getting the ID. Now it will fetch the records. See, we get the IDs, right?
Yeah.
Child things. Okay.
Yeah.
If you from here, if you want to go to edit page, we can go it, but we don't have any edit page right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reason we are not going. And if you want to do update, we can go with update. So now
Got
we'll create edit functionality.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
For edit and details looks like same, so we can go with the same code. But I'll change that method name to edit. So here the logic inside is same. Okay.
Okay.
I'll go with the add view button. Again, here I have to select edit template name edit, and the model, and then we have to just simply click add. After editing also, we have to save it into our database, right?
Yes.
For
We
that
have
also
to add
we
this.
have to, yeah, post method we have to implement edit post method.
Okay.
Okay. For edit post method, simply we can say HTTP post, the model is here, user user data. Now here the logic is little different.
Okay.
Okay, data dot id. Okay. After this, we will have user details, right? User details we have. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, we have to get our existing details from the DB. Then we have to update it. For example, user details dot email. email equal to then data dot email. Here what we are doing, existing details, user details is existing object. Okay, with the existing object we are overriding with the new data.
Okay.
Okay, same way we have to write all these things, user details. What for user details dot first name,
Name.
name,
Data dot.
name, name, and then user details dot what we have, full name, gender, gender. What else we have? We have age,
Yeah.
mobile also we have. Okay. User details dot mobile data dot mobile user details dot is active data dot is active. See, as of now, we are simply assigning, overriding with the new values with the old values with the new values. After that, we have to do db dot save changes. Are you there? See, are you there? I can't hear you. You're in mute. Hello? Say, are you there?